Welcome to the Dungeon House, where a bunch of regular people with regular jobs gather to play Dungeons and Dragons. We aren't professionals, so if you hear food ASMR or a baby in the back, just understand it's normal. This show is recommended for those 13 and up. The music you'll hear is brought to you by William Heaton and various other artists. We're glad that you're here to share in the fun and laughter, as well as the challenges along the way. So come on into our home, take a seat on the couch, and enjoy the Dungeon House.
sugar's low?
Yeah, I'm shaky because I need to eat dinner.
Oh, right. Right. No. You say like this is like kind of thin, but it'll still be good.
It's thicker than regular.
Yeah, it's thicker than regular. I'm so red. I don't have my LUT going on. Am I right, Mark? Yeah.
That's right.
Because he's just there. So orange. Also got a thing about my hair. Jeez.
Is he almost?
Oh, 1 second. I can't hear you. You hear the small child screaming in the background?
I don't.
You don't. That's okay. He was having a whirlwind sprint.
Still working on getting all the other screens up.
I'll give all of you guys. You guys okay with some?
Or is it exactly the same?
Like it's
Why, I guess it is. Do you think it's
I think that would be the only one who said side.
it's gonna
Both
be
of them, that's right. Sorry, cook it to the side. It's easy enough to just throw it in.
Yeah, that way I could put extra in mine anyways.
There you go.
That's what we should do all the time. Because
We can do that.
there's one thing that Faith and I disagree on is how much meat should be in spaghetti.
I say
She thinks none,
Sometimes.
Like against
and I say
not.
none
My
every
family
time.
does
Is
always like eat meat and spaghetti, and sometimes I'm like this is more meat than sauce at this point. Can you like
also
dial it back?
also Brandon.
Jason's feeding me. It's kind of funny. We were getting ready for a razor ride.
Are you bringing that up?
Yeah, we're going to go through probably tomorrow. If it's okay to drop by or something. I'm really busy, but we can drop by your work or at your house, either one.
What time tomorrow? What do you think?
Afternoon, probably earliest 4, latest like 6.
Okay, I might be at work.
But like I will never choose it for
I'll
myself.
let you know.
If that doesn't work, I can still mail it. Just let me.
I mean, you can just drop it up off at like the house or something like that if you wanted to. Or
Yeah.
at work is fine too.
I want
I-
hand it
Really
to
don't want me to say
as in physicality, like here,
that I
this
could
is
avoid
yours.
hamburger if they
Well,
But if that's gonna happen, that's okay.
turn down pizza.
Yeah.
Brandon, I'm actually super stoked for who you got for a character because I rolled yours and Kyle's already because you two are the only ones that's gonna be. He will be, yeah. You guys are the only ones that are online, so I want to roll yours for random,
Oh yeah,
and I'm very excited for who you got.
sweet.
I think you'll have fun with it.
I think I will.
Brandon, I have a confession.
What?
The next character that I'm going to play as in a main campaign will be a dwarf.
That's how it should be. I think.
I don't know if he'll be a fighter, but I have his like whole bit already figured out. Like I know what I want to accomplish with him.
Well, I told you I want to do a dwarf wizard. Like that's what
Yeah.
I want to do.
Like this guy would be like if you do a dwarf wizard, I want to do the dwarf wizard's brother, who might be a fighter or might be an artificer. Like
like
a
Artificer
Battle-
is cool.
artificer. His whole shtick
Oh, I don't even need
Right
to
now?
bring anything out.
is
I
that
know what I'm
he
doing.
wants,
I'm dead.
you know, like how it's like always the classic fantasy trope where the sword of Lothar Kadon was made 3,000 years ago, and it's like the strongest weapon ever created.
Yeah.
Dwarf's like sick and tired of hearing about people that died like 3,000 years ago. He's like, we want to be the next dude,
Next big thing.
the next big thing to make like the best weapon. And so his whole goal is like collecting like magic, like
Magic materials. I like that. I think that's sick.
so that way he can forge the best weapon ever.
Yes.
His whole
I like
his
that
whole-
idea. I love that.
Yeah, that's my plan for him. And I don't have a first name for him, but I have a last name for him. His last name would be Rock Bottom.
Rock bottom. You've gotta get like an alliteration name in there. Like
Rorik Rock Bottom or
yeah,
something
something
like that.
like that where it just like it keeps it going.
Yeah. But I love Rock Bottom because I feel like he'd always like make the joke like, oh, you know what happens when you hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's so dumb. But I just can't get that name out of my head.
I like it.
He's also like the seventh. He's like the seventh son of like the dwarf chieftain. So he's like, my first brother got the title, my second brother got the winery, my third brother got like this. By the time it got to me, there was no more inheritance, so I have to make my name somehow.
Yes. I like that.
So that's like
It's
his
like
whole shtick right there. That's literally nothing else for the character, and I think he's what I want playing the next main campaign.
I like it. I wish I was a dwarf.
I wish I was just stout and burly,
Bearded.
bearded. Spend my time looking for gems under the earth.
Yeah. Pondering
Anyway.
rare minerals.
Pondering merman. Oh. Anyways, I figured you'd appreciate that idea.
I like it. Yeah, how much XP did we get last time?
You guys got 2,000.
Did I already put that in?
No, I don't think I told anyone that. You should be at 21.
21? Okay, that's what I was thinking. How to manage XP. Manage experience. 2,000, you say?
Yeah.
Another 2,000, and we are level 7.
That's true.
I like that.
That's kind of cool.
I like the ring of that.
You have any story?
Right?
Well, whenever you guys are ready, we can get started. Up to you guys.
I mean, I'm not playing, so you guys can start without me.
Oh, are you not really?
I don't know.
Oh, we'll see. We'll find out. See how this goes. All right. Who'd like to tell us what happened last time?
I mean, I can do that.
You want to do it, Pinky? Joy?
So last time, the orc raid had just begun. They had the orcs on bats that flew over the top of the wall to try and crank open one of the gates. And of course, we're there trying to stop them. Things aren't going well. We're kind of overloaded. There's a lot going on. Many people go down. Fairly skimmed. At the very end, though, Barren goes down, and right before he dies, he sets off one of the sticks of dynamite. And blows up the gates. It slows down the orcs. We're able to get the rest of the townsfolk to the other side of the city, where Opal. Was it Opal or was it? Oh, sorry. Adelaide gets a visit from her patron god, who
It's a nice guy.
gives her a message, and uses her as a conduit to open a gate, that everyone can escape to, that leads
You're a
to,
champion.
I forget what the exact name of the town is, but it's the place that we wanted to go for Ren's thing. Anyways, and we ended with the gate kind of closing, and everyone except for poor Barren, who's dead, getting saved.
Baron,
And there was an elf.
there was an
What?
elf.
It may be.
So, to kind of set the scene up with where we're at. I almost imagine that where we left off last time and where we're at now is kind of a little bit of a skip ahead. Like would have remembered kind of a rush of, the elves kind of coming to your aid, talking to you, talking to the people. In that you would have realized that the land baron over Coldstone had not made it out. And neither did Captain Jezebel. Or Jezebel. I think it was a J. Yeah. They were not among the survivors. And from what you can tell going around, most everyone here lost someone that they at least knew or a close family. It was quite a tragedy. And the elves came to your rescue, kind of set up a small tent encampment for the refugees that evening, and you all kind of too tired to really think about what's going on. You laid down for a rest that evening. Where we find ourselves is the morning afterwards. You find, as you open your eyes in the morning, kind of coming to the outside world as you open up the tent flap is drab in the sense of the landscape here in this height. These mountains mostly brown. You find, though, while you guys are on the edge of this kind of a nook in the mountains, and inside this nook there's seems to be these streams running through, maybe connected to some sort of hot spring. You don't know how, but there is tree life above the timberline in this little area. Evergreen trees, tall and proud. These bright green pines dotting this area, though most of them have a light dusting of snow still on them. As you open up the tent flap, you feel kind of the crisp feeling of the frost on the outside, as it's a little too stiff than it would normally be. These elven tents, made very, very finely, kept you quite warm throughout the night, but as you step into the chill morning air, you feel the temperature drop significantly. Looking out over the valley down towards where you come from last night, you can see what looks to be almost like a dark smudge on the horizon. You would know it to be the town of Coldstone, the town that burns throughout the night. With that, you'll see some remnants of the smoke rising off the town. And as you kind of pull your outer clothing, your cloaks, a little bit closer and trying to keep some of the heat, the first ray of sunlight crests over the mountain on the other side of the valley, bathing this little glen with bright light. The elf village of Valenwood. the night prior, the elves had told you once you'd gotten rest, and when you had a chance to meet them in their assembly hall. It's at the highest point, highest building in the village. It's a larger building, and they directed the way as to you, and also the vigils of the tower, Valencia, Dragthorn, and Romount. As you wake up this morning, what would you like to do?
I think he has woken up exhausted because she's cried her eyes out the night before. She's very slow in getting up. In fact, I don't think she would really get up until someone else really made her stir.
I almost imagine that you guys got 2 tents for the vigils, one for the boys, one for the girls. And so if someone else were to stir, then you'd probably realize, I mean, whenever you're camping in a tent with someone else, if someone else moves, you all wake up. You never really can sleep in a tent. You just dream about sleeping.
I think Opal will just reverse in her mind what happened that evening and try to see if everyone's all right as much as they can be. I don't know if she would recall Pinky, you know. I think everybody was distracted, so maybe.
And as you slowly check in on all the party, how is everyone feeling?
Finish my workout.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. And so,
I think I'm feeling pretty good. I had some injuries that I maybe, even though like they're gone for the most part after being healed, I'm a little bit, I think there's still some like physical trauma there where I've had broken ribs or what else do I have? Internal injury, mysterious internal injury. So I'm kind of taking it easy, maybe drinking slowly some elven tea.
Yeah.
That
You're
is
seeing
brought to me. I don't know.
they have like those little foldy out chairs that aren't like full on like camp chairs, but like they fold out like the cross.
A little tripod, yeah.
Yeah. They have those just in the tents. Like it's kind of crazy how they work. They basically have a command word, these tents, and they basically assemble themselves together. As you walk into them, they have some amenities already set up. You almost think that maybe there's some, prior to saying the command word, the stuff inside this gets stowed into a dimensional rift. Probably won't want to store it inside another dimensional rift, but you could definitely try it. It seems though when it's, in the position of being popped up, though, it doesn't have any of that. It almost pulls that space into this world.
I'll make note of that. I maybe want one of these tents someday. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, they are really nice, and you almost think that might be one of the reasons why they stay so warm, is they may be, somehow connected to that extra dimensional plane. They have it set at a cool 70 degrees.
I like that.
I think Adelaide, we're all in the tent, right?
Yeah.
She might be checking in on people, especially those that look like they might need a little bit of extra healing, or maybe some, not pep, because she's probably not feeling like she can give that right now, but like, some comfort, or she's been really working hard on memorizing a couple scriptures she can pull out and be like, oh.
She did her personal study this morning.
Yeah, she and just to kind of, though, like, tired and almost like working to kind of push past what happened the night before.
Almost in a sense trying to kind of block out,
Like, it's like rest, and then like we just gotta get back to work, like, because that's the sensible thing to do.
Sure. As Valencia and some of the others are kind of stirring this morning as well, you all start, and as you check in on her, she seemed to take most of the damage the day prior from the attacks. And, she has, a bandage around her arm where she got in a gash from one of the scimitars, and she seems to be walking with a little limp, but she seems to be doing a lot better than she was last night. She seems to build up hardier stuff than most. She asks you, as you check in on her, she tells you that she's doing fine. She accepts some minor healing. She asks, "How are you doing? You lost a party member yesterday. That's never easy."
I haven't really given myself time to think about it. I'm sure that as more time moves forward, then perhaps I'll feel different.
Fair
But for
enough.
now, I think that Barren was ever practical, and it would be something that he would encourage us to do is keep moving forward and making sure that everyone's taken care of.
Oh.
Care of. Should I go? Something a little witchy. Care of. Sorry.
Well, I will say, in my experience, losing someone never gets easier. You can kind of see when she says that there's kind of a sadness in her eyes, as you don't think it's only been one person she's ever lost. Being a vigil for 5 years, it's dangerous business. What about you? And she kind of turns towards you, Pinky, and seeing that you kind of seem more. I don't know if you're kind of still there, but she kind of sense that you're awake. You're
She's
just
not wearing anything.
Yeah.
She's all black.
She doesn't have any black clothing
besides her clothes.
besides her cloak. Which she does, yeah. Anyways, my Pinky. He doesn't really respond. She just sniffles a little bit.
She'd put her hand kind of. I almost imagine that you're still laying down, like kind of
Yeah.
pretending to be asleep. She'll put her hand like on you. It's like covering your body. It's like this. She was like, just having almost like in a sense, kind of a motherly way. She says, "It's okay. It's okay to feel this way." And she'll step out of the tent.
While Opal's figuring out what she's going to do, Adelaide will probably make her way back to Pablo, check in on him. And then
You look around, you don't find. No,
it's gone. No.
didn't make it.
It's like never mind. Maybe she'll kind of drag her packs over kind of closer to where like Pinky and everyone else is, and then she'll start like methodically going through her things, like with her.
For sure.
This little pair of earrings and this little pair of earrings, and checking everything in her little pocket book.
Pablo can't be there as like an assistant. He's like trying to, keeping count with you. Like you ask him to like, all right, you count how many shoes. Make sure that we have them. I'll keep a count in my head to make sure we are lining up at the end.
Yeah.
We know what
Good
total.
system at this point.
Yeah. He has like the ledger out. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, we know that we're supposed to be hitting 52 pairs of shoes. But he's a little concerned. Sometimes it's easy to lose a pair in the count, but you don't want to make sure you lose a pair actually. the repetition it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
So they wanted to. The elves wanted to see us. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. They'd mentioned the night prior to meet up with them when you guys have had some rest.
I think he will go when it's time, but she won't probably get up any sooner than that.
That makes sense. As you guys do start finally getting ready and heading your way out of the little 2-tent proximity close by area, your little camping spot, you notice I'd say there's probably anywhere from 50 to 100 tents set up.
Yeah.
All of them seem to be fairly packed to the brim with people. Yours were no different, as you had enough people to fill them. But you would notice the kind of a sullen look that you guys have kind of felt, the sullen feelings you can see very much so on the people of Coldstone. These people just lost their homes. Some of them sit there kind of outside the tents, morose, not really knowing what to do with themselves. Many of them have, you see, a lot of them only had enough time to take what was on their backs since it was at night. A lot of them were in, nightgowns, things like that. They didn't have time to even grab shoes. And some of them you see have wrapped makeshift bandages around their feet as they fled. You can see some of those are kind of turned a dark red color, most likely from the cuts on their feet as they ran from the orcs the night prior. You see some of them who had just a chance to grab a few things, clutching their meager possessions to their chests, almost as if it's their only safety net left. As you pass tent after tent, heading more towards the actual village, you'd notice along the tree line a few elven guards still standing watch the night prior. They've been set up there to keep an eye, make sure that the orcs didn't venture this direction, and make sure that the people's needs were seen to. Knowing who'd like to do a history check for me? Or an insight?
I can. Please. Also, thank you all for the dinner. It's very good. Always be friends. Not like Fox and Ham, but we'll always be friends.
That makes me cry every time.
I just so sad. They fall in love at the end, and then fight a razor. It hurts. I don't even know how old it is. 50 years old. Okay. That is a 15.
15? Insight or history?
It's the same either way.
As you look around, you notice that these elves that you guys ventured into, this seems to be a wood elf colony. As most of the time, high elves have a little bit larger, social structures. They sometimes even have almost a major populace in a specific city or, religious site to their particular culture that they kind of swarm. And high elves usually tend to be, even though most elves, I should say, have kind of this air of haughtiness. High elves really take that to the next level. Wood elves, though, seem a little bit more practical, as any elf is willing to assist those wood elves tend to assist, though, without, really trying to make it known that they're assisting you. They're a little quieter in their service.
This reminds me so much of my character. Oh,
They respect people who, work, who put themselves out there. Their culture is a lot more simplistic, a lot less about, political maneuvering and things like that. It's more about connecting with nature, with the gods, and living in harmony with the elements. As such, you see many of these elves seem to have their connection to magic through maybe druidic powers or as rangers, some fighters, and maybe even some priests. Once you leave the tent compound, the tent city, you head down these small winding paths among these large evergreen trees. And it seems that even some of the buildings here are built into their curved architecture, reminiscent almost to like boat holes. Boat holes. That makes sense, right? That's what they're called. Boats, the bottom of them, the hull, right?
The hole in the ship.
Their architecture reminds you of a boat turned upside down. It's very curvature, very angular, and it seems almost as if by woodworking and by placing these boards so tight together, they're able to keep the roofs watertight. Most of these houses are small, maybe 1 to 2 rooms, but they all are, expertly built, furnished with nice amenities. Basically, they're like tiny houses, but really fancy tiny houses. One building, though, that kind of stands out among all of them, even though most of the residential buildings seem fairly similar, is at the highest point in the town, in the community, sits the assembly building, built very similar to the other ones. It's a large, like I said, ship-like structure. I'd like someone to do a history check. Actually, Ren, I would like you to do a history check specifically.
Okay. I was gonna say I know my ship structures.
Yeah.
All right. History. 16.
This village is very reminiscent to the temple that you visited in Havnok.
Oh
The
yes.
temple of Miliosava.
I remember that.
Though this one doesn't seem to be as as ornate. The feeling of that, ruggedness, survival. And as you look around the town, that's very much what you see. You see these elves, while they live in harmony, they're not afraid to utilize it for their survival. You see, not too far away, a group of hunters having killed a fresh deer, skinning it as it's tied up to a tree. And you see many of the people have cultivated berry bushes around here, close to these warm geothermal springs. And they have large baskets going out and gathering these fruit. One of them in particular waves their hand above the bushes as you see one of these berries gets picked. They all kind of get infused with this pearline whiteness to them. changing, and you would recognize this spell to be Goodberry. So he casts it over this food. One morsel will feed a man for a day. How many trees?
4.
4. Yeah. Once you eventually get to the assembly building, you would see what looks to be 3 elves sitting inside around a small fire. The fire's not large. It almost seems to be burnt down to coals, but every once in a while they'll add another log to it, almost seeming like they're continually feeding it so that way it can keep its thing going. Many skins adorn the walls here, and there's a faint scent of, cedar in the air. Kind of almost like the smell of a wood shop. As you approach, the elves would give kind of a curt bow to you. They almost kind of seem, as they bow down, they stay down kind of waiting.
I'll kind of, if this is like I know that they worship the huntress, if it's like part of like a religious like greeting, I assume it's kind of like a religious society where it's kind of just like normal, if it's part of like a normal thing, if it's something I recognize, is what I'm trying to say, is like I'll like mimic that or like do my part in that greeting.
You would know this kind of intuitively from being from a similar culture, even though this one's fairly different. It seems that as they kind of bow down, still like making eye contact with you, they're almost waiting for you to make the same maneuver.
Yeah, I'll respectfully do so.
We'll follow.
I'll motion for my companions to do the same.
As you all kind of give a curt bow, the 3 elves will sit down in kind of semicircle and beckon you to sit with them around the fire. One, a taller man, though older, his hair graying, and as you know for elves, if they have graying hair, that means that they are very, very old. You would place him probably somewhere between 500 and 600 years. He would kind of sitting and say, before we speak, it is customary to have introductions first. I will go first. My name is Rendolin of House Nazareth. Jesus? No.
Wait, of house what?
Nazareth. Like Jesus is home.
Oh, like Nazareth. Okay.
Yeah.
What is Ren's real name? Ren, what did you say?
Ren? No, this isn't Ren.
Ren Dolan.
Rendolin. What's he doing?
He did a bit of work.
Are you choking?
Kind of.
Do you want water?
Yes. You're so smart.
Sorry, just give me 1 second. I need to look at something.
Well,
If he, like, after he introduces himself, if that like is like a natural time for us to introduce ourselves, I assume we would do so,
For sure.
and kind of maybe even like explain what
I'm writing their names down right now.
our
That's
circumstances of being here.
So, kind of getting back into it. As you guys go around, and the other two elves would introduce themselves. One of them, a younger female. She says that her name is Milio of Greenshaven. And then an older woman, seemingly around the same age as Rendlin, starting to get kind of lines on her face, with her hair kind of tied up into a tight bun with what looks to be two hair spikes holding it in place. She introduces herself as Polona of Havash.
Say that name again.
Polona of Havash.
Nope.
Pumbaa.
Oh, yeah.
Pumbaa.
After everyone's kind of, as you guys have introduced yourselves, Rendlin would say, kind of giving a nod to you all. He would say, "We three make up the council who governs this enclave at the moment. We asked you to come here so that way we may be able to learn what danger befell you and what can be done about it. While we have plenty of room up on these steep cliffs, we worry that our food may be not quite enough to support the many people who have been displaced. And so rather than letting these people who are hurt become a thorn in our sides, we must discuss what we can do to get them into a place of safety."
Well, sending them back to their village is currently not an option.
Our chef is MIA.
Are there villages nearby that might have resources able to accommodate the villagers?
They were struggling already to get anything past those orcs. Think there's anything around here that could help us?
There is a fourth council member that we could ask their opinion, but as of now he slumbers. It would not be kind to wake him. He may have different opinions, but we do feel the best would be for the people of this village to find their own kind. We know the great city have not, but I do think that you are correct. That way would be too treacherous, and we'd be leading them to their deaths. Looking at our food stores and what we're able to utilize, grateful that it is the summer. We are still full. We believe that we can hold them for a week, maybe two, which may give us time to see what these orcs do. Most of the time, many orcs don't stay in one place very long, but with a large group like this, they may be planning on starting a stronghold. Though I think it'd be very unwise of them. 5,000 orcs may be impressive, but it is no comparison to the many, many soldiers of Havnok.
I mean, they've been raiding these villages for quite some time now, right?
The orcs,
Yeah.
they had surrounded Coldstone specifically about, at this point, 3 days prior.
Bro, so it actually hasn't been that long.
It seemed like they were gathered quicker than, a message could be sent out, and quieter than expected with orcs. Usually orcs leave a fairly, and I'd imagine the younger lady, Milio, would speak up with this as orcs are known for leaving bodies and being very easy to track. I'm quite surprised that they were able to sneak up so abruptly.
Excuse me. One of the things I noticed while we were in combat, they seemed to have a leader and they spoke in riddles. As they mentioned opening the belly of a snake and cutting off the head, something like that. I also noticed a dark essence with them, similar to one we've encountered previously. The one we encountered was onion. Other ones that I'm spacing right now, but for that.
I do not know this name, Anya. And the older woman would kind of shake her head, like as in agreeing that she's never heard of this. Is it some sort of chieftain name?
It's a type of evil.
Something maybe of long ago.
I believe we're dealing, as you described, it's very odd of their behavior and their skills. I believe there's something contributing to how they're being able to perform their tactics.
Wasn't Ma'anyan was that the Crevoose demon?
Yeah, that was his name.
Then I'll probably ask have you guys heard of a Crevoose demon?
Crevoose demon. As they
And I could even describe what we saw.
As you describe it to him, the older lady, Lona, she, from what you gather, may be some sort of a historian for their people. She thinks back, and she mentions, I've never heard of a specific Crevoose demon. Our legends do say that many different types of demons used to walk the world of Tragard before the Paraxum. And that the evil usurper gods used them as their army to destroy. What was you said you faced something similar to this before. What was your solution then?
What did we do?
Item associated with the demon that we fought. And the more we attacked it, the more it was consumed with darkness. The item that associated itself with this demon that we did defeat. We did. We have it back at the lighthouse. of the of the vigils. Our researchers are currently evaluating it.
Hmm.
However, it, I believe, is dangerous. Oh, jeez.
That dude's super dirty. Do you see that?
Get it, man. Don't shake the baby. Don't shake it too much.
He has.
I'm gonna go give him a bath while you guys keep playing because
It's your buddy boy.
Yeah, he is. He got spaghettied all down his front. Anyway. Yeah. As you kind of think about it, you do remember there being this item associated with that privilege and that you were able to recover it. They nod to it and say, well, maybe that this creature as well has some sort of item tied to them.
Did the orc talk in a mirror? I'm talking in a mirror, right? When I saw
You didn't see it. You only heard through the flat.
Okay, I'm like, this is like
You just remember. You remember hearing the other voice on the other side being kind of staticky.
He's on the phone.
He was on the phone. He's doing voice call.
Face
FaceTime. Sorry,
orc.
he was in a Zoom meeting. Sorry, I got to go on a conference call.
The one we faced before was like an infant, and it was being sustained by those shadows, right?
Yes.
And so once we killed the shadows, like the infant died. Like it wasn't able to like be, I don't know, supported. I fear that like a mature demon of this kind is like totally different, and maybe still has an item, and maybe that's just how they work. I hope so. If not, then
Mhm.
you know.
Oh,
I think
boy.
that's a good thing to look for is an item.
I'd like you to do a history check. Remember, see what you remember.
It's a 21.
So, Opal, you remember not only did you face this one in this life before, but you also remember facing it in a previous life. It's the same one, even though it seemed to have been reverted to almost like a. They called it basically a infant form.
Yes.
You in that vision, you don't remember your after your yourself from a different life, basically
Yes.
destroying it with an item. Like you don't remember there being you just remember fighting it in the streets of Havnock
Yes.
many years ago.
Yeah.
And it was part of that you think is why it came back, is that maybe there was, some sort of association to the connection to that item. And, maybe it had to do with the location, as you guys found it in a temple, to that. Some sort of structure underneath in the old building, the old city of the Ryuli, which was built and before the Havnock now.
Never get that information.
For sure. Bring that up and they go, yeah, it's very good.
Very smart, yeah.
Very distinguished. Not actually, but they do not appreciate it. Blue station.
I'm curious. This is maybe this item could be this connecting source between that realm and this realm. Or there could be multiple of this item and multiple powerful demons associated with it. Dual shards from Inuyasha or portals for yeah.
These are the questions.
Anime.
What anime am I basing this on? Just kidding. Maybe. Anyways.
Our last campaign was based off of a game.
That's true.
Was it? It
Yeah.
was.
3 houses. Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Not when I was there. It was like the beginning, apparently.
For a little while. It was not my favorite.
I agree.
I liked it, but I never beat it. Faith did.
Well, I beat it 2 times.
When
Wow.
the main character that I chose became too edgy, then I was like, I'm out. He was like, I hate everything. I'm like, you were like the nice guy, and then you went there. If you've ever played the game, if anyone's listening that's ever played that game, you'd know what I'm talking about. And it's
Do that.
just rough when you're like, I just liked him before, and now I don't like him. I know he's like more complicated as a character than what we first met him as, but like, now I just don't like him.
Dude, you gotta stick it through for that redemption arc.
I know he gets one, but I already know what's going to happen. He's going to say, even though I may be a monster, at least I still have some humanity. And then, like, he starts becoming good again,
3 cats.
realizing that, killing people is wrong and being overly aggressive is bad, I guess.
Talk about lame.
Learns how to control the monsters inside. Whatever. Anyways. So at this time that Cragborn would speak up and say, I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly, but there might have been a similar case of something similar to what you described as this being the one that you fought prior in recent history at the tower. But I'm unsure. I just feel like I remember hearing mention of it.
Was it in Have-Knock before it was Have-Knock?
No, that's the concerning thing. It was experienced by a group of adventurers on the other side of the continent. They were in. Let me look up the map so that way I can say the right place. Sorry. Where's my map? How cold is Coldstone? How old is Coldstone? It didn't look crazy old. The
Old enough to hide something underneath it?
now that is a great question.
One that I think you would not ask because she's
Not.
hoping. Not in her right mind. She is
It was
there
happened.
because it is required.
Coldstone is 36 years old.
Coldstone's only been around for 36 years, guys. That would be a better question for maybe the.
Yeah. You Google it. Jesus, notes on your phone. Is that cheating?
That's awesome.
Nice.
Um,
Guys, I got you.
if I have planned out how old Coldstone is before coming as a DM, someone tell me to stop because I'm not preparing that much. I'll make up a number when we get there. Anyways, he would explain that that happened in the mountains in the land of Terrascova. Close to the headwaters of the what is that river's name? I should have put more detail in this. Yeah, the one river that runs past Fell Nor and Fell Sal.
The Kohaku River!
No, it's not that. I know it's not that. It starts with Fell. I remember Fell being in the name.
Like, what's the one from Spirited Away? Where is it?
How'd you remember that? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was
I was
wild.
remembering the cute scene where they're falling and he's like, I remember my name! Your shoe fell in that river.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Cute, but also weird movie.
I liked it.
Spirited Away. So while you're looking stuff up,
For sure.
anyone who cares to look at Pinky's noticing that she is
looking down at her pink self and getting a little bit agitated with the brightness. Oh, feel like Nancy. She won't leave if she wants to.
I think Opal may be too deep in thought with trying to rehearse past lives, to be honest. I'm trying to stick to my character and not jump to, oh, my character would say this.
Adelaide is probably keeping an eye on Tuesday because of previous bouts of rage.
Tugging on her clothes, like the uncomfortable tugging. Don't feel quite comfortable in your clothes.
While they're talking, maybe Adelaide will, for you. Are you alright?
She's gonna give her the meaningful look. Like, are you seriously asking this question? Someone just died.
Side glare.
It's fine, I guess.
Adelaide's gonna kind of just be like, alright. Then she's gonna kind of open up her little satchel, start looking at some maybe little bitty outfits.
You have like baby clothes.
She has some made for the stuffed cat she's got in her bag that she got from the ruins.
Make a check.
18.
Got 'em.
Little bitty outfits.
Yeah. You always
Yes, but
they're for cats, but you also think that they're multi-purpose. Like maybe if you run across a baby somewhere
that needs
that needs clothes, maybe that you come in possession of a baby.
be
Or it's one of those things where like you see the baby clothes at the store and you're like, they're so cute. I've just got to get one.
Yeah, at some point you probably want to be a mom.
Yeah, so
You go all of them out,
you probably want to sell them by the time you're a mom.
but you don't want to keep them at the house because you don't want your mom to get any ideas that you're like in the market for babies.
babies. Okay. Yellow and that's the word. Okay, so she's got a little it's not better, but a little yellow robe. Not like the kind of wrap dress, that go around and tie.
Yeah.
It is yellow though. So she's gonna but it's loose and comfy. She's gonna kind of pull up and be like
Piggy's gonna shake her head. She's gonna. What is she gonna do?
I will allow you to make another check. 'Cause I would be surprised. You might.
another check or another look for what colors I have.
Another check.
5.
5, probably not. So you think you may have stored it somewhere?
We go with Pinky's coloring.
Exactly.
She won't bother.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Yeah, it's like you start putting together the outfit, right? Like she says no, and then you start putting the rest of the outfit together, and you're like, okay, what about now?
maybe a headband.
For the little bald little girls. That's so funny.
Cat collar. It's got a little bell on it.
She does not go for it.
Piggy's not having any.
If you are wanting to make a dramatic, this is off. This is just me to you, Joy. If he wants to make a dramatic aesthetic change, you know who to talk to.
I don't think Piggy's gonna talk to anybody about it. She's as soon as we get out of this meeting, she's gonna. She should leave this meeting. I don't know.
There's a-
This turns into a personality thing. Adelaide's gonna start noticing. She's gonna be one of those moms that's like, all right, she's a rocker now.
It's pinky to punky.
Holy cow! That's wild. I love that. She has the spiked boots. It's not just a phase, Mom.
I'll get you one of those the capes for the what's his name that we killed, the octopus.
Oh, yeah, the nice player cake. Yeah.
But instead of it being like a phase that's caused by like an influx of hormones, it'd be like the death of a close friend.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's not just phase, maybe it's healing.
maybe it's just a way to cope. Anyways,
You know. So no, imagine with me. I'm sorry. And then we'll move on onward, and the pixies.
oh, the
Yes!
pixies,
Like that.
the leather.
Motorcycle.
That's awesome. I love this. This game's awesome. Also, the river's name was Felmir. I got it. I remember. Anywho, enough of that. Headquarters of Felmir. Cragborn thinks that something happened over there, maybe at some point.
Crayborn?
Cragborn, yeah. Did I not say Cragborn?
You said correct one.
Okay. Yeah. He said that he heard something when he was at the tower. He after a little bit the main elf man will kind of say Rendlin, he'll say, well, this is all well and good. It still doesn't solve the main issue at hand, which is what do we do to help these people and also not put ourselves in jeopardy. The Valencia kind of scratches her beard. No, she doesn't have a beard. Valencia scratches her head ponderously. Her ear hair. Mom's over there picking his nose. No, they're not just doing gross things in the middle of this movie. I promise. They are respectable vigils like everyone else here, I think. Anyway. No, Valencia will say, I know that one option would be to take them back to the tower, as its perimeter is safe and guarded. And from there we could contact Havelock. It's not that far of a journey from here. Maybe with this large of a group it would take a week. But we'd want to make sure that we leave in a time that it's not when the orcs would be watching and would be wanting to chase. The elves think about that for a little bit. This probably would be our best choice. And then after the people are seen safe, while you are leading them, as I would assume the vigils would do, maybe we could, as this colony, keep an eye on their happenings in order to better understand our enemy. See if we can understand where they go and where they came from. Valencia says, I'm in agreement with this. This mission, while our prior one is still very important, this one might have to take precedence for us. As she turns to Momal, then if we go back to the tower, we can gather a larger party and maybe deal with this situation.
Opal still being a little salty, but there's not Opal. I think she would, but also not. Maybe it's just funny, so I'm contemplating if she would or not. And evidence that you exist, that you're real, legit. I don't think she would do that, but she would maybe more formally say like, maybe you could bring like a history book, to support your facts.
Well, if we're going to guide these people to their to the tower, and you could see it firsthand.
That's good for me, unless it's a trap.
Opal, just so you know, if it was a trap, I probably would have killed you the first night. And it seems very far flung. So
Alright.
I promise I'm not here to kill anyone unless they're evil. Then I might kill them.
I think he's gonna clarify. Or him, whoever was speaking.
That was Valencia.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like a girl's name. Voice as
Just a mention of killing and stuff. Pinky's not very happy.
she doesn't seem to really necessarily notice you glaring about that.
You don't notice the big brother.
Oh, pink girl.
She could have been a yellow girl.
Does her skin color change with what she's wearing?
I read that. It was like every year. I'll see
Still?
it every year for the rest of my life.
It's the yellow girl.
You're just. It's not girls, I guess. But
Oh, it's so good.
wait, have you read Goose Girl? Faith, you should. It's so
Rose
cute.
Girl, Emma Burning, River Secrets, Forest Born.
It's
So-
I have them. You want
They're
to?
so good.
You can borrow them right now.
Get distracted, but
I'm just gonna get it and you can just hold it.
Yeah, you just look at the cover. Maybe smell the pages.
Because you must read it.
Like,
you like
good.
like you must. Like
She said you must.
You've read Shannon Hill's books, right?
I thought they read any books, to be honest. I read the Book of Mormon, and I read Spiderwick, and I read Divergent, and that's it. And 2 textbooks
And we read Trust the MLC together.
together, yeah.
And didn't we read? No, we didn't read any other ones. We're reading The Way of Kings.
it's not a library book. You don't look like it.
Okay.
It's not a library book. We already filled out the stickers.
And then like, yeah.
It's not a library book. We just filled out the stickers. It's not.
It looks like it was stolen from a library, and then like stolen. But
You
it's
find
not.
books like that at DI all the time.
Yeah.
Please return to East Meadow Elementary.
Okay, so it's it was given to me by my
More-
sister-in-law, who used to be a teacher. So, I don't know.
They're probably getting rid of it.
I will
Yeah,
say,
probably.
I gotta say, Chase and I went to the library last year for Christmas, and they're like, "Do you have a membership or whatever?" I'm like, "Oh, maybe." So they looked me up and it's like, "Oh yeah, you do. You have a balance." I'm like, "Oh, from when? Like 2009?" Like, "Oh, I was 9." It was like 11 cents. Oh, I'm very old. I was in 10.
Oh,
That's
hilarious.
They're like, I knew you would show your face around here. Your 11-cent balance on your Facebook. Where were we? Sorry, I'm sorry. It's okay.
It's all right.
I was the one who.
Valencia was talking about maybe being able to go to the tower as you
That's
guys if you guys lead the people there. Then she could gather more vigils and then head back and try maybe either confront or try to figure out what's going on with these orcs and with the Corvus that you guys talked
Okay.
about.
Just a clarifying question.
Yeah.
Was Coldstone a mining town?
Coldstone was a mining town.
Okay. Okay. What did they mine? Did we ever learn that?
No.
Okay.
Probably cold
Something
stones.
said.
No, I'm joking.
Magical stones that create the coldness.
Dumb,
And then
Brandon.
you
Don't laugh at
refrigerate
that. Don't laugh at that joke. It was dumb.
Okay.
No. They just normal, mining ores, iron, copper,
Okay.
tin.
How old is the
Zinc.
mining? Would there be a temple down? Just kidding. Don't
There
ask.
could be.
Because Pinky's not
There could
asking
be a
those questions.
bear down
Pinky
there.
is distracted.
That's okay. As kind of the conversation, has moved to that. Valencia again, states, well, I think that's our best bet. Maybe give ourselves a couple of days here, prepare the people. Many of them don't have shoes. And we need to make sure that they can make the trip before we push them out. Yes.
Maybe also provide. This is a question for
Oh, to Chase,
no.
to Valencia, my thick, girthy
No.
voice. What? Who are you asking? Ah, okay. The council.
Oh wow. Anyway, this is more faith seeping in, like, oh, kind of. There are also types of mental remedies for these people who are heavily distressed.
Baron
So he got therapy.
You got drugs,
I said therapy.
medicinal therapy can be a solution. They,
Thinking therapy. I was not thinking Rebecca's got the fruits.
I just want to make sure.
You got some stuff that can make the pain go away.
But why? You look so sad. Don't do that. Don't do drugs.
Don't
Do drugs.
But they talk about how many magics can heal the body, but sometimes the mind is the hardest thing to heal. As
Going frozen.
if you
No. It's opposite. It's opposite. The head's more easily persuaded than the arms. Okay.
but the hard thing is if you were going to fix them, you'd have to change their memories or change their personality, and that gets complicated, and you most likely would screw up more things than help.
We're not doing that. I was thinking like talk about how you feel.
Of like a meeting, a powwow.
Like group therapy, like poetry. Ridiculous.
The council members would say,
Well,
do you have any experience helping people after a crisis?
think Opal would.
Would you be willing to see to their mental needs?
Yes.
Because you will be one of the ones traveling with them. You'll probably be able to do far better work in helping them than we could. I think that's settled then. Is there any other questions or concerns? Are we good with that line? Are we good with that plan?
Yes. I think that's probably the best option.
From what we gather, Rendell and lean forward. The orcs haven't found this location, and I don't know if they're even planning on looking here. I think we'll be safe, and we'll keep our eyes peeled on them, that we may be able to ascertain any information for when the Vigils return. With that, all three of them kind of stand up, as the rest of you stand up and we say, We- bid this meeting adjourn. If you have any questions, though, you can find us. But he rests most of the day. He is far more ancient than we are. And because of that, he receives the privileges of being the eldest. With that, he knows the most. The most experience is the one who should lead. As they kind of nod and with meeting. What's your character's game plan for the next little bit? Because you guys will have a little while, a couple days that you can kind of do some things while you're here in Valenwood. Or you can, things like that. I will say, though, before we get into that, maybe start thinking about some things that your character would maybe want to do during this little bit of time. As you guys leave the assembly hall, Valencia will stop you all, and as well as Cragborn and Momoun. She says, "So I've been thinking, and I said prior that I don't think Momau, Cragborn, and I can continue on our previous mission for where we were going to Tepesh. Since this one has displaced so many people, it might take a little bit more precedence. It seems that you all have experience with this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you, and she kind of coughs in her hand. She says, I think that my team might have a little bit more experience with, just being Vigils. If you're all right with it, and we want to counsel with you, but I think it would be good if my team takes the lead on this mission for the time being. It's close to our base of operations. We can bring people at the similar skill level as us, while we still find your input valuable, and we would definitely be messaging you for questions and things like that. We would like to ask you if you'd be willing to take more of a support role in this.
Well, let's break it down to the basics. What do you mean support? Do you mean donate to charity? Do you mean write you pretty letters?
I think this problem isn't something that's going to be solved with running and gunning and killing all the orcs.
That's great.
I think this is going to take maybe a couple of months of careful planning and steady tracking their movements before we can march on them. It would be fast if they stay in the same location, but a raiding party of orcs cannot sustain themselves alone on their own merits. They will have to raid somewhere else to be able to continue to live.
I think that's a good plan. I would suggest that we cut that into months to a month at the most. 25.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Maybe within a month, trying to meet back together and make a plan of action against these.
So
With that, our, as I've said before, our Vigil faction doesn't focus as much primarily on magic. But as I understand, yours does.
yes, but I think it's a generalization of our party.
And I agree, as I've seen you all fight very well with the sword and with the bow. You all have very many skills. But because you give your credence and your honor to the other faction, it means that you have the ability to travel around the continent faster than we could.
Yes.
We walk. We don't have the teleporter rings that you do, which means that you could get to Tepesh a lot quicker. What I'm suggesting is, if you're all right, we could switch for this month in being, and we could deal with these orcs, keep an eye out for them, gather information, and if you'd be willing to help the situation in Tepesh.
Yes. So pretty letters.
Pretty letters.
We're going to separate and work together as separate team. I'll drop the
you know.
Yes. But we do plan on, once we have a game plan and we plan to move against these orcs, it would be
Yeah.
imperative to have someone who's experienced their might. We will call you back.
Okay. So Miss Man Valencia is in charge. I'm fine with that. That's fine. Just consider us equals.
We do. I hope you know that. But someone needs to choose, someone needs to take the mantle of leading this if we hope to have anything happen here. And I promise you that while this one may have more of an effect on a major amount of people, the mission that you would be taking up isn't going to be any less profitable to people.
Yes. Oh. See, our friendship is developing. I just give you a hard time.
Someone needs to.
Sometimes I'm upset. But anyways, we'll complete our tasks for today and prepare.
So basically, you're planning off your mission on us.
I
She gets it.
hope that it doesn't come across that way, as we were honestly very ready and able to do the mission. And if you do not accept it, then that is okay. We can find another group that can. But I know that we've only known each other for almost maybe a day, but I've seen the way you've worked, and of all the vigils I've met from the lighthouse, I've been the most impressed with you.
I think he's just being silly.
Well,
Sorry.
It's okay.
This sounds great. I mean, Vigil of the Lighthouse or Vigil of the Tower will have the same goals in mind. This should work well. Are there any specifics of the mission that we should know now, or would you recommend we prepare first?
Yeah, and I think a month is a good approximation of how long it'll take. Maybe it might take a little bit longer, but we'll keep in communication so that way we may be able to plan accordingly. The mission's more broad in the sense of it's something that has been noticed and reported all throughout Tepesh, as it seems to be a large number of small children are going missing. And there needs to be a solution to this.
Is going to. She's literally going to front. Right there.
She's like, if you don't want help to, I'm just, no. I know kids can be difficult. No, I'm joking. She doesn't say that, but
Yeah, she's gonna start stopping and she's gonna fly over.
did I say something wrong?
No, this is good news in a way. Isn't it?
Vicky's gone.
Okay, I just know that she's been asking for kids. Gone missing. She's been asking if anyone knows about kids gone missing. This is a great place with a lot of reports about kids going missing. So this is good news in a way. And well, I don't know if good news is the word, but
forwarded.
continue.
Yes.
Good. It's all good, man.
Well,
Thanks.
seems that maybe someone's been watching out for us, and if that's what she's been seeking, then fate be it that we were able to make this switch.
So since you're the leader, Valencia, you're filling out paperwork, right?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I've already started this morning.
We have to transfer missions. They gotta know where we're at.
Well, we didn't have a mission.
We know.
You guys been on
I'll see.
sabbatical.
Yeah.
You fill out paperwork, right? Transfer
Yeah.
your mission. Hey.
Just so you guys know, you guys can kind of like leave the vigils kind of whenever you want and go on, breaks. You just don't get paid. And you don't, yeah. And as well as like, if it goes long enough that they don't hear from you, you guys checked in at Have Knock and kind of told them what you've been up to. But if they go long enough, they might, start asking questions, start looking for you if you haven't reported in a long time.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Your job. Because you're the leader.
The duties. It's like, I actually kind of like spreadsheets, to be honest.
We're different. That's why I don't like you.
Yeah, people are like spreadsheets are weird.
Yeah. All right. With that, you kind of break up. What would you guys like to do for the next little while?
Doesn't Ren have like a whole thing?
He does.
Okay, we should just write him on that.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, whatever.
Hopefully, we go
Ren-
and peek.
Whatever.
Whoever wants to go first. Ren, if you want to go first, we can. If Opal finding Pinky wants to go first, we can do that too.
You guys can go first.
Yeah.
Pinky.
Okay.
Pinky, make a stealth. Are you trying to hide? Okay. You just need to get away.
Yeah. What she's doing is she's going to. I'm assuming that I think Pinky would have knowledge of various herbs and roots used to dye clothing.
Yes, for sure. Like it's always funny, a practical joke to like put something in someone's drink and they drink it and their teeth come out like purple
Yeah.
or something like that. So you know plants.
Looking for the particular, I'm gonna say root that turns clothing.
Sure. Yeah. You know this root as the
Doesn't have to be a root.
I like root. I think it fits thematically
Okay.
really well. You know it as a veneric root. It gets its name actually from one of the usurper gods, known to be the god of loss, shadow. And it's known for the sap after you crush in a mortar and pestle the root. It'll turn almost into kind of a sludge that if cloth is dipped into will turn it into kind of a pitch black color. You're able to gather some.
She's just sobbing, and through her tears, she's looking for this root.
Sure. Make a investigation or perception check. And since you know what you're looking for, do it with advantage.
I mean, I got a new 20, so.
Mhm.
Don't need advantage.
Okay.
You find plenty.
Sorry. It's a baby.
No excuses for you. I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at you.
I'm still tired.
Yes, Piggy's just going around. She's identifying the plant. She's digging up the root. She's got tons of it.
Yeah.
It seems fine now.
What do you do?
We got a long rest, right?
Yeah, you guys got a long rest.
So my plate. Or juice.
Yeah, I'll get you on since
My health is so sad.
You dye your clothes black?
I mean, when does she come upon me?
That's a good question. I need Opal to do an investigation check to see how fast she can find Pinky.
Well, well, Opal, honestly, she was gonna find a cupcake first. So it might take her a second.
Do you want to roll that with disadvantage then?
Bang! Since 18 and 17.
Oh, yeah, you did great. What's your investigation plus? Is that with it, or is that the roll just
That was just the rules.
as your
No,
investigation?
17 would be a 19.
19. Yeah. So you know where Pinky usually keeps, her baking supplies, and you may enlist the help of maybe some druids that have some sort of magic that can make food quickly. You find some good berries. Those are good berries. You put them in. So it's kind of like a blueberry muffin cupcake thing. It's got frosting. So the only difference between a cupcake and a muffin is if it has frosting, right?
Basically.
Basically.
Okay.
Maybe not. But it has,
If you get them from Costco, then yes.
yes. Costco muffins are great. Yeah, it's got blueberries in it. It's not good blueberries. It's got good berries. They're really good berries in it.
Is there food coloring?
Yeah.
I'd make it pink.
You gotta make it pink
Make it pink with an accent of blue
with an accent of blue.
from good berries.
You're making a
Yes.
funfetti cupcake.
Funfetti. Making I don't if it was it's an inverse of Sully from Monsters Inc.
Nice.
All right, you make it in lightning fast speed. Probably about the same time that Pinky's able to find the roots, and you come upon her just about. I feel like as you're about to start dying because she rolled really well.
Okay. I'm grinding it up.
Yeah, you've already ground it up. You're like
Okay.
right about to dip it in. Like I almost imagine you're starting with a hat, if you would.
Pinky was gonna take the approach so she has. Here's what I'm picturing.
Sure.
I don't know if Pinky has another set of clothes. I'm picturing her setting up a sort of bath, and she's just gonna dunk her whole self in.
Okay.
Gonna dye her skin black for a little while, get her hair. It's
Yeah, you made enough for that.
it's fine.
Yeah. You kind of.
Great.
It's like
Still
a
sizzle
small
little bit,
wash basin heated from this hot spring water. It's kind of steaming. You put some Epsom salt in there because it's been a really stressful day. Some lavender and black. And black.
Right.
Are you going to and you're going to bathe as well as dye your clothes in it.
Yeah.
You right about I feel like as about you're about to, bathe in it. I think that's when Opal will find you.
Opal, not knowing what that is. I think she would. She put so much effort into the cupcake. She put it down and tackle Pinky.
Tackle. Full on form tackle? Sure.
Strength or what?
It'd be a
Clinic.
it'd be a contested strength check.
All right. 16 with athletics.
You can still beat that. You can.
Technically could, but I'd have to roll an 18.
You would.
I rolled 17.
That's really close though. You want me to microwave?
Not for the fight here. You expect to be able to hold her down pretty easy. So wait, you got a 17?
Well, -1.
Minus-
So 16.
So it's a 16.
Yeah.
Meets it, beats it.
Is that how it works?
Sorry,
With grappling? Are you listening to a book?
No, I'm listening to the debate.
Okay.
I'm doing my American duty.
Yeah.
Meets it, beats it with a grapple. I think in the case of a grapple, I think nothing changes.
Unless you win.
Correct. I think it's basically they're in a stalemate right now. Like they're like this, but
It's basically
No
no.
one's free.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works with like something.
You're not.
like this. Typically, meets it, beats it.
It's
But in
basically
this
like
case,
for
I think
anything
it's
else
like a
to
time.
happen, you might have to re-roll again. But
Yeah.
like, it's kind of like the initial shock that you kind of like are both like.
Like when you see wrestling, like people with wrestling, that first initial like they're like this.
If
That's
you wrestle
what
like that, you're getting taken down like this, dude.
All right. Well,
Nothing like that.
He's a
Keep those
wrestler.
arms inside.
He's a wrestler.
Anyway, sorry.
Opal will be taken back and immediately be like, "What is going on, Pinky?"
Pinky, just the tears just renew, and she just starts crying. This is not how I planned this conversation to happen.
Mind you, she's about to take a bath too.
No, she said she's wearing the clothes and just
Yeah, full.
This is-
Everything's
Okay,
just gonna.
I thought you were going to do the clothes after you.
No, everything's
like,
going in at once.
Well, wait.
I got Joy's perspective.
Yeah, no, yeah, everything's going in.
She's
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
That makes it a whole lot better.
let me go.
why? How are you mourning? Like, how can I help?
Let me go.
And do what are you gonna do? That don't look like bath water. It's black.
It's like bubbling slightly. It's like fizz coming off of it.
Take a bath in that.
Yes.
Pinky, mourning does not mean hurting yourself.
It's not gonna hurt.
Well, what is it?
Pinky. She's gonna try and break out of whatever this is.
For sure. Every time. Well, y'all roll a strength check.
This is wild. Because I've paused this now. I haven't heard most of this, but I've been saying this.
Which is technically only a 19, but
I still don't beat that.
I've been upstairs, and now I'm coming into some. This is crazy. I don't know what I missed.
You should have been paying attention.
Ooh, well, obviously
Bye.
Opal fails, and she's very shocked by it.
Yeah, I almost imagine that Pinky slugs you across the face. It doesn't really hurt. Like, you don't take damage, but like, you're like,
but it's a shock.
it's a shock. It's like, Pinky just punched me.
She's a slug.
I don't know if she's slugged anyone before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but like, it's just like a visceral shock that like she gets away.
I'm gonna go for her leg.
I would say that she would probably get an opportunity attack since you're leaving. Well, this is a little.
Yeah.
It's a little.
You
She would get advantage on.
I'm
This is
going
an attack, so you need to do
I'm going
disadvantage.
trying to grab her leg.
So you don't need to roll anything. She needs to roll disadvantage to see if she can hit. It's just your strength.
That's not fair. It is fair because it's a dice, but
That was the most like.
What?
It's just funny that it's not fair. And the DM was like, "You gotta let me be the DM."
they're right next to each other too. Did you see the first one?
I didn't.
Oh,
I have a screen.
I can fib. It's the 20.
Sure.
On the second roll, yeah, it was. Strength.
Mhm.
7.
Miss as you try to grab her. Her foot. She darts quickly out of your grasp.
She's up just high enough that you can't reach her.
Start
Opal's not that tall, to be honest.
bodyguarding the back.
Well, if she's up high. Oh, I will. Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Thanks for the idea.
Barren's gone.
That'll hit Opal very deeply, and realizing she hasn't processed that either. Kind of. What will Opal do? Opal will go from this to down and looking down. Just being like, he is.
He was so strong.
He was.
And now he's gone.
He is. Opal mentally is like, for now,
Well,
we don't know.
no one
He
else
did say
knew.
that. No, I know.
Yeah.
But we didn't find a body. That's why I'm saying that.
You didn't have time to find a body.
Exactly. Like, for now. For what we know.
And if Barren being so strong is gone, then Asher has no chance.
Astrid? Who? Astrid?
Asher.
Astrid, the boy? Is that the kid? Yeah, I'm like, that's the kid. Your friend?
My brother.
Oh, yes, your brother. Yes. Because he's not a fairy. Right? I remember.
Is this how you're having this conversation?
No.
That's the boy, right? Yeah. He's like your friend, my brother. Oh, he like went missing or something?
He's not a fairy, right? No. Oh my goodness. No. Okay. No, Opal would be more better. Your brother. Your brother. Yes.
I don't know why I'm even looking.
I know.
I should just give up.
I don't think so. But it's okay to feel that way right now. Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Well, you did make a nice thing.
Is it? You actually think it might just be Donnie? It's hard to tell.
like,
You're looking for like the googly eyes to come up to the top. They haven't surfaced.
okay. That's not Donnie, is it?
No.
Then what is it?
It's not.
Oh, God. You thinking of doing costume change? Change your armor? Outfit? Maybe?
I will say this. Oh, well, you probably make an insight check.
Can I just bought this. Where's my white bag? Inside is a fur.
You don't realize this. It's okay.
A costume change? Armor? I would say like armor change. That's okay. Like
The costume change.
I didn't mean it like because your outfit's good. No, I meant
That's what I can't get across.
I meant it as armor change. I did say armor change later, but anyways. Oh, that's crying.
Barren's dead and Asher's dead. Then why shouldn't I wear black?
You can wear black. There's nothing wrong with that. You're mourning then.
Get out of the way.
What if I want to wear black too?
Find your own black dye.
Well, can you show me?
Oh, I have a bath to take.
Then I would.
It's like a bucket, dude. It's pinky size, and I will say it's getting cold because it's not a lot of water. It gets cold faster.
This is so much better in my head. I was imagining like a inset like
Bath,
bath,
in,
right?
in the
In the
middle of
floor.
the woods.
I didn't know. I didn't know where we were. I was imagining this as a bath, a bath house. And it's just a pit that she's put this concoction in, and like I just imagine both of them like tackling each other and then falling in. Like makes it so much better that it's just this little.
It's just a bucket. That's all it is.
Oh man, this is a wild episode.
This is prime D&D right here.
Yes, it is.
Well, how will I know where to look?
I'll show you later. Just move.
What if I want to find it with Pinky? Not. Oh, that's awful.
No.
Not Punky. There we go. I'm
Just be very careful what you say.
I know.
I don't. Ooh.
What if I want to find it with Pinky, not Punky?
And that's too bad.
Well, I made a cupcake for Pinky,
Pinky doesn't like cupcakes anymore.
but it's pink.
Pinky doesn't like pink anymore.
Well, I'll let you do what you want, but I hope you don't let what's happened to Barren happen to Pinky.
Pinky's a little bit confused.
That's okay.
She doesn't know if you're talking about dying or
personality-wise. That's. I'll add that 2 cents.
Dying
Nice.
or dying?
On the inside.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm dead, so I'm gonna die.
with a Y.
I see the wordplay now. It's a loop. It's all been planned from the start. Guys.
Exactly.
We had this session, from the beginning. We knew this was going to be, the culmination of today. Barren died. So Pinky's going to die herself.
Oh no!
That's
true.
That's pretty good.
All right. Opal's gonna say that. I don't want what happened to Barren to happen to Pinky. Die with a Y.
Too bad, because it's happening anyways.
Will she come back?
I don't know.
I'll let you decide that then.
About that point, you'd step out of the way.
And I'd go find some roots, whatever it's called.
Sure, there's a druid who could help you.
Rebecca!
For throwing arrowheads over.
Yeah, Pinky gets into that bath. She starts covering everything
Yeah.
in black dye.
When you come out, you are completely black. I almost imagine that this is, kind of a ceremony for your people. It's not a very common one, as fairies are very lively people, but there's sometimes fairies who feel broken on the inside. And while fairies all come in different various colors, one color that's not, a natural hue is like this stark, ebony black. And it's a symbolism for you to take this on as, it's part of you having gone through a great change and a great loss. After that, you emerge changed. If it's all right, we're going to move to Ren.
Oh, whoa. That was awesome. I don't want that. That's awesome.
That's all.
Yeah.
I like goth.
Yeah, Gothmingy's gonna be sick, dude.
She's
also-
she's gotta think of a new name now. She can't be Pinky. That's gonna kill her.
Yeah, you gotta come. You re.
I do kind of like Punky.
Punky is
That's
good.
Punk. She doesn't want to be punk. She wants to be
I don't know.
Wants
Already
to be sad.
Jetty.
I will say that I'm pretty sure I'm going to name this episode "Something to Die For." Pretty good. That's pretty good. Ren, I almost imagine that as the group of vigils were kind of leaving, you stayed behind at the assembly hall as you had a little bit of unfinished business. You need to find out what these people know.
Indeed. I will. I think if I can talk to all three of the elders, that would be great. But if not, maybe like the youngest one. I don't know if you meant young as in like 30 or young as in like 600.
So young for elves is hard. You can definitely tell that the guy and the girl was probably around 500 to 600. But
Okay.
young, like elves look in their 20s from when they turn 20 all the way until like 300 years old. They look fairly spry, fairly young. So it's great range. It's hard to know, where she falls.
Right.
But
I think
you,
even me, I'm just like she's more approachable. I don't know,
Yeah.
more on my level.
What?
But if they're all there, I will just address all of them.
sure. I think you could grab like they're all separating to go their separate ways. You can see that she heads over to the corner of the assembly hall and she grabs this large, pristine longbow that seems to have been carved, made out of some sort of antler. As she grabs it, grabs the string kind. There's a bag with what you would assume to be the bowstring tied in it and a quiver. As she slings it over her shoulder.
Yeah, I'll say, excuse me, Lady Amelia, and I'll do that little bow.
She'll do it back to you.
I'll say I am looking for someone who I believe dwells in this village. Someone who has suffered a loss at the hands of some sort of mysterious sickness. And I'll go on to kind of describe the symptoms. I'll say I don't know if there's someone in this village who is familiar with what I speak of.
She'll kind of lean back a little bit and see if she can place anything specific when she says, as my time on the community, on the committee, and even since the time I was born in this community, I don't remember a story of someone with such a disease. That doesn't mean that it hasn't happened. This village is ancient. It existed even before the Paraxum. But what you say, this curse, it would most likely be older than most of the living here. There's only one that I know that has a sharp enough mind to be able to tell you of things long past. That would be the fourth member of the.
Would you be willing to take me to meet with him? Or to arrange some sort of audience?
Xarxix is sometimes a little fickle. A little hard to meet with, and he usually doesn't enjoy meeting with outsiders. I'll make you stay here, and I will head to his dwelling, and I'll make your case. I'll tell him of this disease, and he will let me know whether or not I need to. You are allowed to approach or not. As that she'll leave through kind of the front door. You'd notice though, as she heads out, she doesn't head down into the village, though she turns towards the pinnacle, the top of the mountain, following up this river stream farther. Almost maybe where the source of these, hot springs come from. She heads that direction and deeper into this glen of trees, rather than somewhere this village. You'd assume that maybe Zarksik's dwelling is separate from the others. Is it all right, Brandon, if we take a little bit of a break? I just need to go use the restroom real quick, and then we'll get right back as she gets back with a message from you.
Awesome. It's like it's really happening.
Yeah, it's like she needs to go and check with somebody. Well,
Going on break.
Yeah.
We're back,
I'll think about it more.
and we have Ren sitting on the porch of the assembly house. It takes a while. It takes maybe almost around an hour. You sit there, you got like wondering, should I go do something?
Yeah, like, are they waiting for me up there?
Yeah, I mean, head eventually, though, Milio shows up again, and she says, "I told Sark6 about your plight, and he said that he's willing to meet with you.
Thank you. Very much.
I ask you, though, when you meet with him, he is our most revered member of our community. Please show him respect. He asks you to keep this meeting private, and I would do so. I have no idea. I don't know his intentions, but he is wiser than any of the rest of us."
Understood.
Follow the creek. It'll lead you higher up our small valley. At the end of it, you will find a cave. Enter the cave, and he will be there.
Okay. Good.
As she kind of gives you another bow, in motion of a farewell. You head out, and you notice the creeks and hot springs that run down this valley. They're kind of found out almost like in a delta, but they all seem to head back to kind of that one point, maybe where that cave is coming from. As you make your way towards it, you end up having to hop some of them, and you feel that the water is fairly hot, coming out of this cave. It seems that once it gets to the village, it still keeps it warm, but up here it's, if you fell in, you may, find yourself being scolded of how hot it is. You even find some baskets where it looks like they've taken maybe some meats and some things like that, and they're actually set them into the water almost as like a slow cook.
Like a sous vide.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's probably got tons of minerals in it too, so it's like already seasoned.
Sulfur.
We love it. As you eventually you find a fairly large open cave, as the peak of this mountain almost forms a fairly straight cone, but this side of it somehow almost got digged in, like a knife was dragged across it, making this gash. And at the point where the cone would have, gone straight down from the top, there's this large, cliff wall, and at the bottom you find this cave. A fairly good amount of water rushing out of it, and you have to kind of precariously find a path along the edge and make your way through. It doesn't seem that there's a lot of foot traffic that comes up this way.
The water's like the hot spring is like in the cave though, like the water's coming from there, so it's probably pretty steamy.
Yeah, as you walk in, the temperature difference is quite drastic, and it's been fairly warm here. The temperate air is definitely seemingly to be kept by whatever this hot spring is producing. And with the amount of oxygen, it should be too little up here to, comfortably breathe. Maybe there's some sort of magic tied to this place. It's hard to tell.
Interesting. I like it.
As you eventually get inside the cave, it's pitch black. As you walk in, you almost slowly have to feel your way forward to make sure that you're not going to accidentally fall into maybe a deep pool. Right here,
Of
you
boiling
almost,
water.
yeah, you can almost hear the kind of churn, a boil of water coming from this location. What do you do?
Remind me his name.
His name is Zarxix.
Zarxus. I will. I'll probably like knock on the wall with maybe like a rock or something that will like kind of make resonate. And I will probably like call out, like I don't know if I should just call him like elder. Like, what should I? What do I get? Is like, what should I call him? What should I be calling out?
It's kind of a hard, it's up to you. If you feel like that is a respectful way to reach out, then you can definitely say.
I think I will. I'll probably just address him by his title.
As you call out elder, you kind of hear your voice reverberate down the cave and kind of echo back towards you as it's like elder, 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 as it repeats a couple of times.
Right.
Anyways, from inside you hear kind of a low voice. Are you the? And it kind of echoes back to you. It sounds, and you almost wonder if it's maybe the shape of the cave, but sounds like maybe closer or louder than it should. As you can tell from how it echoed, this must be a fairly deep cave. It echoes back to you, and you've gone into where it's fairly dark where you're at. You can just see a little bit of light behind you where you could make your way back to the entrance if need be, but everything in front of you is pitch black.
Yeah.
And you hear this voice ask you, are you the one with the ailment?
With the ailment?
Yes.
I'll say, not me yet, but my family is afflicted with the ailment. I seek a way to heal them, to save them.
You hear kind of almost kind of a humph of acceptance, like, if that is the case, then approach. Where you stand right now will not lead you to the burning waters. Walk straight.
I'll follow his directions, I guess. I'll walk straight.
Yeah. As you take your first step, almost wondering if you'll find ground underneath you, you feel your foot slap on some stone. As you continue going, you hear kind of this almost like a turned sound. It's hard to tell, is it the water broiling or is it something moving somewhere else? Does Zarxix have something guarding the water?
Yeah, like something swimming in it.
Yeah. You walk.
I think it's just him like moving his arm, like if he's swimming in it, like in a hot spring, like he's like getting a drink or something. I don't know.
As you walk forward, you get this sense of awe. I need you to make a check. Some sort of saving, actually.
What will ye have me do? Do I get advantage if Donnie's holding my hand?
Maybe, actually. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right. Wisdom. That's a 12.
12? With a 12, you feel this presence have invade your mind. And you feel your heart well up inside of you, and like it almost feels like you can't take another step forward. It's almost as if something in the darkness is watching you.
I mean, maybe it's him. I mean, he's an elf. He can see in the dark, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just him. Again, I'm good.
You
Can I move, or am I like?
you definitely stop and shudder, but then you feel as you grab the iron flask next to you, giving you strength, knowing your purpose here. You continue to walk forward.
Being straight.
Not too long after, maybe as you are walking very slowly, still testing the way before, but walking in that straight line, you see what looks to be a glimmer, maybe on the cave wall, not too far away from you. Maybe something that's catching the light from the far side. It almost seems to be like some sort of amber crystal. They seem large. As you kind of look at them, oh, maybe that has flecks of gold in it. Maybe this place has, riches unfounded. There is a reason why there must be mining up here. But then you notice one of those amber golden jewels blink as you see a rush of fire spew out, lighting the chamber up as a large golden dragon sits partially submerged in this pool of water. He breathes out his fire onto the water. As you see it hit it, it roils, boiling stronger.
As you get a ton of steam, and I have to like shield myself. I'll get burned.
Yeah. He grabs something from the side. It looks maybe to be some sort of, log or something like that. And he, after blowing out some fire, he blows it into his hand, his claw, and he'll set it down not too far away from you as it somewhat semblance of a makeshift campfire. And as he sets it down, you feel the frightful presence subside. And he looks down at you and says, "You're brave to keep coming forward. I can tell that what you seek is something true to your desire. You are honest. Come, sit with me. Though I would not suggest in the water. With that, he kind of gives himself a little bit of a chuckle. You can see that he has, like, the gold dragon in the player's handbook's like a good approximation.
Yeah, I got that Fu Manchu
The Fu
mustache.
Manchu mustache. He looks very wizened as he kind of sits there. You can see that he has like some sort of, large, like, rounded rock-shaped cup, and he's like kind of blowing it with a little bit of fire, kind of keep the tea warm as he kind of sips it. It's probably about the size of like a 50-gallon drum. He's just like, my name is Zarxix.
Yeah, like I think, but before he said that, I'm like looking around for an old elf.
Yeah, like, so where's the actual guy?
Eat him. What's going on? Is he in there?
Yeah.
Open up. But when he says that, I'll quickly like kind of come to my senses, but like, oh, and like do that bow once again.
He will nod his head down as he actually takes up a large portion of this, this space. He will look you up and down, kind of seeing, almost in a way, sizing you up as any wizened old person would. Checks, are you married yet?
Yeah. Are
Got
you eating?
kids? Are you eating? You got a little thin on the sides. Got to put some meat on them bones. No, he sits there for a little bit and then speaks. You're from the lowlands down south.
Yes.
Lena, I think the people call it nowadays.
Yes.
Recognize your garb. You've traveled many, many miles to get to my domain.
Yeah, I have. You're the only person I've heard of that remotely could help me. Has similar experiences, I guess. I need to know what you know about this.
As he nods, he almost seems sad in his eyes. It may be something that he might be remembering. The one that you seek with a disease, a curse, similar to your family's. His name was Loadon. Unfortunately, Loadon is no more. Though I know his story. As I was, and he kind of stops himself for a second. Witness. He was the one who was able to gain the most knowledge that a mortal has had about such a curse. The cure is not what you think it may be. And he kind of seems like he's going to say more, but then stops himself. And then he looks down, kind of towards the water, and then looks back up towards you with these bright, golden, gleaming eyes, and he says, Umberle hoards such knowledge for himself, as it is his creation, sealing the secrets that he has made with his own writing. No man on this plane may learn of truth, the whole, until it is too late, or until it is given to him by Umbre. Child of the hunt, child of great waters, child of the storm, child of ruin. He almost seems to hesitate. I cannot give you mine, or it would consume them. Though maybe that would be the most comforting death you could give them. Loadon's light was different than your own, though after a fashion the same. Similar attributes, though he could no longer get cold. Burning up, he found the highest points, the coldest mountains, and still no respite. This is how he came into contact with the people of Valenwood. It is said, as he kind of stops himself again, the cure he sought no one knows if he was able to find, and those who know can't say. For you, there is still hope. Seek the blood of the dragon with the breath of ice. As he kind of looks at you, he says, "This was what Loadon sought. His way. Like I said, I cannot give you mine, for it would consume them. And it will not be easy to find one who holds the breath of ice. You see, there are not many of my kind, chromatic or metallic, left in these lands anymore. Generations ago, a man bent on consuming power hunted my kind to the point that we no longer rule the skies, but have to stay quiet in our caves," as he kind of gestures to the area. "I have not left my wooded glade in many, many years because of such a creature. The kind of dragon that you look for do not live on these mountains, as these mountains have a summer. They eventually do thaw out. You need to seek the permafrost of the far north. That is where the one that you will seek will reside."
Once I find the blood of the dragon, what am I to do?
He seems to almost stop himself again. Like he wants to say more, but then bringing a clawed large arm to his head and running it along kind of one of his horns, as at this point, you would notice that one of the horns on his head has been chopped off, missing, close to the stump, but not all the way. He kind of rubs his hand there. Maybe it's a comforting gesture. He looks back at you. The blood consumes us, or we consume it. You drink of the blood as he kind of struggles, it seems, to get those words out for some reason.
Drink of the blood.
And then he shakes his head and says, I'm sorry, little hunter. I can say no more. My tongue is bound.
Do you know if I can potentially contact Umberly for a way to fix this?
As gods go, even he is the most reclusive. But seeing your countenance, you may have connections to realms above this one. You may know better in that regard than I do. Though that isn't a bad suggestion. At least it would give you an understanding before making the commitment.
So I'm to get blood from an ice dragon and make my family members drink it?
He sheepishly kind of, and almost in pain, nods, and he says, please, no. I may not speak of this anymore.
Do you, by chance, know anything else concerning the nature of the curse?
He will look at you and he'll say, I do not know if you understand what I mean, but my tongue is bound, as he kind of bellows at you. I have told you more than I have told anyone else prior.
I think I'll drop to my knees and just be like, I'm sorry.
I forgive you. I know that this is important to you. And if I could, I would tell you everything. Umberley has bound me. It is his secret, and I cannot speak it. I fear I may have given more than I should. As he kind of brings his hand to his head again and rubs it. But I will say this. For this reason have I stayed in these mountains so long. I knew at some point, somewhere, someone would be as foolish as Loadan to try to bring the old magic back. Things before this time, this era. I stayed here waiting because I knew someone would be like Loadan and need the answers. And then he kind of looks at you in the eye and says, I hope that you do not turn out as he did. And with that, you can kind of almost see what looks to be like a guilt in Zarksik's eyes But after just kind of a flip down for a second, he'll meet yours again.
I will say thank you for everything that you've done for me. I will do it. I will save them. And it's thanks to you. If there's anything I can do for you, I will do it as payment. Your people know how to contact us, where to find us. If there's anything we can do.
He will look at you and say, when you gather that blood, if you could, bring some to me. I may have need of it one day.
And I'm like still on the ground, probably. And I'll just say, yes, I will.
As you say this, he nods and says, now go. But know this. You are always welcome in Valenwood. Your kind. The ones who seek the blood. You are always welcome. And if you happen, in your journeys and in your future, come across any others, return here. Or tell them to come here. And if you are successful in your quest, and when you bring the blood back to me, then you will know the secret, and we can talk further. For a secret is not a secret between two people who have the confidence of it.
I think Ren will just keep like bowing, like just like on the ground. And then after a time of probably just like silence, Ren will just say, thank you for everything. Thank you.
You're welcome. With that, he'll grab the log that he had lit for a campfire, and he'll plunge it into the water, extinguishing the flames, and throwing the entire cave back into darkness.
So I just have to shimmy back out.
Yeah.
All right.
The only thing that you catch a glimpse of as you have stand up and walk back out are those two golden eyes still staring back at you as you leave.
Peace. All right. I'll try not to think about him watching me leave.
Yeah.
It's probably embarrassing. I'm like,
Yeah, it's true. He's seeing everything.
I trip on a rock. Ah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's good.
Awesome. Good. Well, with that, Barren, you just sit in your chair for a sec.
What?
Oh, no. Do I need dice? Maybe not. We'll find out. Barren, should I say well, yeah, well, we'll leave that for what it is right now. You find yourself somewhat lounging on this large, ornate stone chair. A servant to your right has a plate of some type of fruit that you've never seen before. As you pick him up, ever so often you place it on your mouth, and it's quite sweet and crunch down as it pops in your mouth and feel the juices flow in your entire mouth and kind of envelop you. One of your favorite parts about these fruits is their vibrancy, their pungent flavor. Not a lot of things in this life make you feel alive. You seek for those things. As you stare back out the window, the large balcony, I should say, it's not necessarily a window. You see the arid landscape in front of you. The large canyon walls stretch up above. As a singular waterway runs through the center, right past that large jutting temple that they're still building. Called the Pyramid of the Gods. This multi-stepped creation looks down on every people of this civilization. You and your palace looks towards it. You look toward it and ponder. As you look at it, you kind of feel a sense of frustration. Kokolo is your city. It's frustrating for them to build a larger building than the one that you live in. Though you may have the largest palace, you're not the only one that has a building of reasonable size, but you have the largest. But for some reason, the priests decided to make one bigger for the gods. How arrogant of them. About at that moment that you see your younger brother burst through the doors. You look at him, and his face flushed with anger. His hand on this large sword, a nice shaft of hickory with inlaid onyx black obsidian blades running all the way along it. It's a good make. You wonder, where did he get the money for that? As he walks up to you, he says, "How dare you? How dare you do this?" You look at him, and you hear your own voice say, "It needed to be done. She needed to be taught a lesson." He'll get up right into your face, clutching the weapon, says, "She was your sister. Just a girl." You'll wave your hand. Two guards come up, flanking you. It seems that he itches to pull the blade out and just slash you there. Maybe it's time for you, as you turn back to your brother. Maybe it's time for you to run along and find something else to kill. Another battle, soldier. And you hear him mutter under his breath, "There's one right in front of me." The guards tighten their grips on the weapons. You smirk. He may be one of the finest generals that Mayolokulo has. But he is not you. As he loosens his grip, he almost stills himself for a second, his face in utter disgust. He'll look back at you and I made this for you. And he tosses it to you. You deftly catch it in your hand. You look at it. It's a pendant with a strange design on it. Almost looks like maggots crawling one over another. A pile of them. How gross. Wouldn't go with very many of your outfits, but maybe on the gaudier occasion when you celebrate death, it could work. You turn to your brother and say, "What is this?" It's a reminder of what one day I'll do to you and what you'll become. And with that, your brother, Eyukuyan, walks away. And that's where we'll end.
Kind of crazy.
Before we end, I want you to make a history check. This is more Barren, as you have the sense of this isn't you living these scenarios, you're seeing something.
Sure.
Maybe something from the past.
I don't think I have any pluses to history. 7.
7? You would get this. Aokuyan was the name of the wight that you killed in the Temple of the Gods. In that temple in the forest, the Rovine.
Interesting.
With that, we'll end this session.
Oh, that was great session.
I don't know who the new guy is.
Dungeon?
Dungeon.
Ah.
Dungeons.